pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We welcome you to the Board of Supervisors meeting this morning. This is March 28, 2023. It's 9 a.m. Are there any changes to the tentative agenda? Okay, the department has elected officials. We'll start with Kevin Glendenny, County Sheriff.
Hi, good morning. Jail numbers, we're at 87. Nine of those were out of county. But they should be coming down by tomorrow. We've got 4 going to Oakdale today, and then 2 going to the halfway house. That'll leave 1 left that's waiting on Oakdale, and 3 that are waiting on the residential facility. But of course, yesterday is court service day, and we'll be getting updated numbers in this morning as we speak. So we'll update that list. But we should hopefully, seeing what the next 24 hours bring, we should be in the 70s tomorrow, which will be nice to see. We have 3 deputies at CIT this week, and we're hoping to finalize our 911 board is entering an agreement with True North Consulting. And True North is going to do a study basically on our communications in Des Moines County. That would include all the fire departments and law enforcement in the county, and just kind of come back to us with their opinion on what we need to be aware of moving forward, costs for the future, where our current equipment stands, and maybe some options with including costs on ways we can improve that. So we're happy to get that started, and we look forward to those results and moving forward with that. That's about all I got for this week.
All right, sounds like plenty. Colin Gerst, Ed.
Just keeping busy like always, and I'm ready to anything new to report.
Zach James, land use.
Yeah, things going pretty well. Not a whole lot of new things, but we did have a zoning commission meeting last week on a subdivision off of Beaverdale Road. That'll be coming to you guys at some point in the future. I'm not exactly sure when yet, but it'll be coming your way for approval at some point. You have a special use permit application that's going to our Board of Adjustment next week. Other than that, just kind of routine. They've got a few subdivisions, a few permits that is kind of just floating out there. So that's about all I got for right now.
All right. Matt Warner, Assessor's Office.
Yeah, I'm just here today to talk about the 2023 assessments will be mailed out by the end of this week. Just remember that, and those assessments for 2023 are for the taxes payable 2024, fall of 24, and the spring of 25. Just remember, this is not a tax bill. This is just the assessment notice. It's one of the factors in determining your taxes. The percentage change in your assessment doesn't necessarily reflect what your taxes will be. Other factors like the state rollback and the different taxing entities levies will be the ultimate factor in determining taxes. Your assessment is just kind of the basis for that. Any questions on assessments, please, I know the supervisors get questions about them. Please feel free to forward all those kind of questions to the assessor's office. That's what we're here for. That's our specialty. So, I hate to see people that other departments try to handle our questions. Send them our way. We're more than happy to talk to people and explain the process to them.
And we will be more than happy to send them your way, Matt.
Absolutely. Perfect scenario. Just kind of a reminder too, there are 2 different options to go about appealing your assessment if you feel like it doesn't reflect market value. The first option is what's called an informal review between April 2nd and April 25th. That's when the property owner basically talks to the assessor's office, asks for an informal review. We will actually physically go to the property. If we feel like there is a change that could be made, we send the taxpayer a form. If they agree to it, they sign the form, and that becomes the new 2023 assessment. If they are not happy with that option, or you don't have to do an informal. You could file a formal petition to the Board of Review between April 2nd and April 30th. Then the Board of Review meets during the month of May to hear any of those petition requests. One thing I would encourage people to do is, prior to either the informal or the formal review, is go visit our websites, either dmcgis.com or desmoines.iowassessors.com. That is a wealth of information on your property. We are very transparent on what your assessments are. All the information for not only yours, but everybody in the county is out on a public viewing website. So we encourage people to go there first and look to see what their assessments are. And you can, from that website, you can look at comparable properties, look at historical sales information. All that information is out there available to you. So just kind of wanted to throw that out there as a public information announcement that the assessments are going out, and feel free to ask any questions if you have any. Sure.
Do you take into account other properties that are adjacent to the homeowner's property in assessing the value?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, that is a factor, whether it's a commercial use property or other factors. We generally look at more of a neighborhood influence more than just on a house-to-house basis, but we factor in all kinds of different things on your assessment.
Give me that website again, please.
So we either have dmcgis.com, that's our GIS website, but you can access information there. It also sends a link out to desmoines.iowassessors.com, and that's more specific to assessment data. That website's where you can do sales comparison searches, look up all the physical components of your property, and along with the assessed values. And you can actually do a tax estimate on that website as well.
You satisfied, paper lady?
If you have more questions, want to meet after this, feel free to get a hold of me. We can talk in person over the phone too if you want to write an article.
Alrighty then, appreciate that, Matt. Let's move to Natalie Steffner, Recorder's Office.
Good morning. Everything's going well in the Recorder's Office.
Busy.
If you plan on traveling out of the country this summer, the U.S. Department of State Passport Services has again updated the processing time. So passports now are taking 10 to 13 weeks. They were 8 to 11 weeks, and they have been down to 4 to 6 weeks at one time. So 8 to 11 weeks for a routine service, and if you need to expedite, 7 to 9 weeks. So you need to get in and apply if you plan on traveling this summer. That's all I have.
Thank you, that was plenty. Zach James, land use.
Again? Again?
I already planned
This one.
Yeah, you were talking through Zach.
Did I already talk to you?
Yeah.
I don't have a check mark. Oh, yeah, I do. I guess you didn't have much to say.
I guess you just like me that much.
All right. I already talked to you. I talked to you. All right.
That's
You know what? Nobody asked for all the extras. Warner threw me off. Chris Lee, Conservation.
We will be turning the water on and open the campgrounds this week. Thursday, I think, is when the water gets turned on, so everybody wants to camp this weekend. Looks like it might be a little blustery at night, but we expect people out. I should note that we have our open house up at Big Hollow on Thursday. That's at 5 o'clock. Come up to that, we'll show you the project sites where we've done the clearing for the ponds. We talked about the campground expansion stuff on maps there. Our the Soil and Water District's watershed coordinator for Big Hollow's watershed will be there as well. So if anyone wants to talk about the watershed project, he'll be there to answer any questions you have on that. And then I totally just lost my train of thought. But I think those are kind of the big things. I should also note that all of the holiday weekends for the summer, which is Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day, are all sold out for reservable sites at Big Hollow already. So, just checking that yesterday.
Chris, have you got a map of the area that's got where the watershed comes from?
Yeah, if you go to our website, go on the Big Hollow page, there's a link right on that page that takes you to a full page that's dedicated to the watershed, and the watershed project, and there's a map on there that shows you where that is. Yep, and we'll have, at this open house, we'll have maps, hard copy maps there as well. That shows it's 44, 45, 4,600 acres, something like that. It basically goes, it's kind of a triangle that runs west-northwest from the lake out, and kind of widens out as you go. It goes pretty much out to 61 to the gypsum plant, and then down to like Dodgeville Road, that kind of. So if you just do that and then taper that down to the lake, that's basically the watershed.
Thank you.
Yep.
Everybody satisfied? Let's move right along. Chris Lee, Conservation. That was a joke. Janelle Deli, Lundquist, Sheriff's Office.
Good morning. One last reminder, the second half property taxes are due Friday by 4:30 in the office or the drop box, or 11:59 or at night on the website. So Saturday, April 1st, 1.5% interest will be added. So Friday, get your payments in.
All right, you heard it first, right here. Rodney Bleasner, Maintenance.
Good morning. Really busy, got a lot going on. The parking lot project started this morning, as everybody kind of seen. So just a reminder, kind of sending it out to all the employees. I'd like to encourage all the employees, not just county employees, but all the employees here at the courthouse to try and utilize the sheriff's parking lot as much as possible. So we can kind of leave some of the parking on the streets for the customers. We have unlocked the back door and disabled that alarm so people can utilize the back door in case they're parked on the street and want to come down the alley. That is available. Gonna be working with Colin on the jail camera project. Kind of that's, we're starting to work on that. Also, mid-April, the contractor's supposed to start on the roof project out the jail. So, kind of got that notification, but some of that's kind of weather depending. We'll see how that goes, but at least right now they're planning mid-April on that. Other than that, I have an agenda item. Staying busy.
All right. Cheryl Mack, Finance.
I have 3 agenda items today. That's it.
That's plenty. Sarah Marie, County Auditor.
Good morning. Just business as usual, busy.
Brian
Nothing to
Carter,
report.
County Engineer. Thank you.
Good morning. Plenty of stuff going on. Finally got a couple dry days, so the guys are out blading, trying to take care of some potholes. A little bit of rock being hauled. We've been waiting for the right weather pattern to pour the bridge deck. So as of right now, that's hopefully happening on Thursday. We were gonna do it tomorrow, and they've considerably lowered the temperatures tomorrow. So hopefully Thursday we'll finally get that poured. Contractor on Bridgeport is still making good headway. So they're still working on drainage stuff right now. So they've laid some rock, but working on some of the drainage tile that's gotta go in. So that's going on, and our culvert crew's working on culverts. So a lot of stuff going on and stuff coming up too. I got a couple agenda items, so.
All right. Did I forget anybody? For Heidi
You can try to get some of them quiet, that's okay.
Thanks for the reminder on that, James. I know I could count on you. Any correspondence, gentlemen?
I have none.
I have none.
All right, let's move right on to discussion and vote. First, we have 5A at the public hearing and adoption of a resolution for 2023-014 approving FY 2023 budget amendment.
Motion to open public hearing. Second.
Sarah Marie.
Tom Brooker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes. This resolution is authorizing the appropriations for expenditures for the various county offices and departments for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2022. We have 5 increases
Yeah.
for the
This
appropriations.
budget year starts 22. Okay, yeah. And then it's 23.
We have 5 increases. One's for the sheriff's department for $61,350. And that would be for transport officer, is that for the transport officer?
$54,350 will be moved from the jail's budget to the sheriff, so it's just an out of the jail's budget into the sheriff's budget move. And then there's $7,000, that's an increase in a grant that they have, it's GTSB, I believe is the initials for that.
All right. Well, how about the clerk of court? That's an increase of $200,000.
That's juvenile detention.
And apparently that's going to be going up. Good Lord. We also have an increase in the local health for $123,764. We have a decrease at the jail for $54,350. And we also have another increase for emergency management for $48,394.
The public health, $123,764 is all grant money. So every bit of that is covered by grants.
Thomas, I'm sure that there's crumbs in the explanation, so I'm gonna.
You define them however you want. The only actual increase is a juvenile detention, and that's something we have no control over. If somebody gets arrested in Des Moines County, they're ours. And juveniles get kept in Lee County, and they have some extra requirements for juvenile detention. There's gotta be an educational component, and a number of other things, and then it's $160 a day, not counting transportation and drugs. So, it's expensive to keep some of those kids off the street.
Jim, you've got some information on that?
Yeah, it is $160 a day now. But come July 1st this year, the new budget season, it's gonna be $185. They increased it by $25 a day. So
Something to look forward to.
it's this $200,000 might not cover what we're gonna do for next year.
Crime costs everybody. Good Lord. Do we have any questions, any comments from the audience, from the public?
I would just add on the juvenile side of things, so everybody's aware, juveniles have to be housed in a facility outside of the sight and sound of adults. And now, as of July 1st of last year, the code changed where they can't even be held in our jail, where we have some opportunity to house them out of sight and sound, but you have to have a court order to house a juvenile in a county jail now. There is significant cost with it. We've had 3, as of today, we had 2 juveniles in the Lee County Detention Center. Obviously, we want to support that, and we'll consider all options, but that's our best current option, is using them for housing. On our budget amendment, we had our transport officer take another position last August, and there was $54,000 left of that budget, and we had a work session with the board, and the board was supportive of adding a new deputy to that, to our staff to fill that position, with the funds that were left in that line. We haven't been able to fill that position yet, but we plan on filling that in the coming months. And then those funds also be used to supplement some of the rising costs we've had in fuel and vehicle expenses, and training costs, because we have 2 deputies going to the academy starting in May 1st.
You know, I've got a feeling about this. A lot of this stuff, these ladies here said, sitting in the back, a lot of it's gotta start at home, and it's not starting at home. You ladies do a wonderful job. Believe me, you really do. And, but if you can't get the parents to come in and start these kids early, you know, they're gonna end up in this detention center down here, some of them.
Yeah, some of the best steps we can take is just being actively involved in our youth's lives. Not letting electronics raise them, teaching them about consequences and what the future holds if you don't follow rules. They can learn a lot from that.
Yeah.
I'll just say this while we're waiting, is there anybody that's messaged in? Okay. I went out to eat with my family just not too long ago, I don't know, a week or two ago or something. We went down to Napoli's, and we're sitting there, and we walked in. I remember just a week prior to that, we had all went out to eat, maybe a week or two prior to that. We went out to eat. I'm sitting there, and I pointed out to a family, and I said, look at that table over there. And all of them were on their phones. Every last one of them, down to the 3-year-old playing a video game on the phone. When we're sitting at Napoli's, I'm looking at my menu and trying to figure out what I want. I look up, my grandson's on his phone, my daughter's on her phone, my other daughter's on her phone. I said, put the phones down. And right when they put the phones down, I look over to a table, and there's some guy doing the exact same thing to me that I did to somebody just 2 weeks ago, saying, man, look, this guy, the whole family's on the phone. They didn't want to talk to each other. So it's so easy to get caught up in things and, you know, to take care of business and stuff like that, but we really need to be mindful. We really do. Back in the day, nobody ate dinner till everybody came to the table. Now we just grab a sandwich and just take off and run. So it's a different world that we live in, and we ought to think about those things. We ought to think about those things. We should. Thomas, James, are you guys satisfied?
Did you get any comments or emails? Good.
Yes, sir.
Could you briefly explain $9,100 holding and 5 children for how
Sure.
long?
We have a bill that we haven't paid yet. We're waiting for the budget amendment to be approved. It's for $9,100. It's for a half a month, and there's 5 children on that list.
My children, she means juveniles.
Yes. We've budgeted $230,000 for this line item. We have currently spent $240,234. And like I said, we got $9,100 sitting there waiting, so.
Oh, I could have done the math.
Quick did the math, so we don't quite maybe need 200,000, but you just never know what tomorrow's gonna bring.
Okay.
Motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Move to second. Sarah Ready?
Tom Broker?
Yes.
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Shane McCampbell?
Yes.
Motion to approve the budget amendment.
Can I get a second?
Second that.
Moved in second. Sarah Ready?
Tom Broker?
Yes.
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Shane McCampbell?
Yes. Somebody asked me if I'm making any money on the side for bringing these in. No, I'm not yet, but,
Not a sponsor.
So anyways, brings us to 5B, it's a public hearing and adoption of resolution 2023-015 approving FY24 maximum property tax dollars.
Move to go in public hearing?
Second.
Moved in second. Sarah Marie?
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Tom Broker?
Yes.
Shane McCampbell?
Yes. Whereas the Des Moines County Board of Supervisors has considered the proposed FY24 county maximum property tax dollars for both general county services and rural county services. And whereas a notice concerning the proposed county maximum property tax dollars was published as required and posted on the county website. Whereas a public hearing concerning the proposed county maximum property tax dollars was held on March 28, 2023. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors, well, I don't need to read that part yet, but the maximum property tax dollars requested in general county services for FY24 does represent an increase of 16.7% from the maximum property tax dollars requested from FY23. The maximum property tax dollars requested in rural services for FY24 represents an increase of 1.35% from the maximum property tax dollars requested for FY23.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Do you want me to go through this?
Have right at it.
So So we had a 17.27% increase in TIF increment. That's the request from the cities on how much TIF dollars they need to pay back their TIF debt. Overall, the cities have 7.77% of our total value in TIF. So that, according to the Department of Management, is excessive TIF for our county. So that's one of the reasons why we have a 16% increase. Another one is the fact that we are in a pending lawsuit. I think anybody that can read the newspapers is aware of it. And if we lose that lawsuit, we could lose $1.3 million. So we are preparing for a worst case scenario. The other issue is we had a 1.95% decrease in our rollback on the residential end of things because of a miscalculation by the Department of Revenue. So we lost $37.8 million in value due to that after we'd already started our budget. So it looks excessive. We're preparing for the worst case scenario on that possible settlement. So we can't spend money that we can't keep. So that's what a lot of that is about. Tom, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, please tie your shoelaces, Thomas. Tie your shoelaces, friend.
The big issue is the valuation of a Southeast Iowa Regional Medical Center. Their valuation, taxable valuation last year was somewhere in the vicinity of $25 million. So the assessor is left anyway, so he increased that valuation this year, maybe 55 million. I'm not sure the exact number. The hospital appealed that, and so the Board of Review said it's all taxable. Well, it's all means about 200 million. So what that means is our tax base went up almost $180 million. That's 8 or 9% of our tax base, pushing 10% increase. Well, if we'd have had an increase like that, this board would have cut taxes, as you're well aware. But so that's out there, and it's being appealed, probably end up in the district court. They will decide what they will decide, but it is not prudent or in anybody's best interest for us to budget. Said, yeah, well, this money's coming in, we'll spend it, and then a few months or a year from now, we have to write a check, a refund, and we've already, so those funds are segregated from our expenditures. So those taxes will be coming in, so it looks like a huge increase in the amount of taxes we're gonna collect. And it is, but we don't know whether we're gonna collect them or not.
Right on.
So we, as Cheryl mentioned, our tax base, everything included, our tax base went down for the second straight year. If you don't count the valuation change, our levy is exactly the same to the penny than it was before. So if somebody's got a house or property valued at $100,000, they're gonna pay just the same amount in the county portion of taxes as they did last year. This is, the big number there is $180 million increase in Des Moines County's taxable valuation that is probably on its way to district court. So we have no choice. That's the tax valuation that the state gives us. We have to use that. It'll be assessed on anything like that. Anyway, so yeah, it's a lot of money. Looks like a lot of money, but it's a really strange circumstance.
And I might add on that, our assessor was in here and said, if you have any questions on that, refer them to him. Call the assessor on that.
Thanks for that, Jim.
Yeah. Call the assessor.
Appreciate that. And yeah, I hope everybody understood what Tom said. It looks a lot, or it sounds a lot worse than what it is, but really, just past previous boards that held the line, so that we don't have to go crazy this year, because it's not a great situation to be in. Nobody on? Yes, Jim?
The tip bothers me, but.
Go ahead and speak about it.
But I'm not gonna get into it right now. That's something they talk to me on one-to-one with.
Right on. that all you got to say on that?
That's all I got to say on that right now.
I'll give you an amen. Excessive TIF. Let's leave it at that.
Did
Nobody,
Are there
Thomas?
or did you get any emails or
I have not.
comments? Okay.
Thomas, you want to say anything about excessive TIF? Thomas?
I've spoken at length in this room about TIF.
Yep. Just want to make sure everybody's satisfied. Natalie, did you want to say something about it? She was looking at me funny. All right. All right, keep it moving.
She's heard all about the TIF.
Nobody's got nothing. We don't want to rush anybody. This is a public hearing. Everybody's satisfied. Can I get a motion?
Go out of public hearing.
Second.
Moved and second. Sarah Marie?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes, please. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second?
Sarah Marie?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes, please. Hey Jim, what was that Warner said again when he was here? What did he say?
He said if you have any problem on your taxes and you want to,
I think he said assessment.
need any,
All the same.
Maybe he said both.
Just call the assessor's office.
Maybe he said both of them, Tom.
Don't call the treasurer.
I wouldn't call the treasurer at all because the treasurer's got Shane Campbell's number down there.
Yeah, they're calling me. Tell you that.
Okay. Next, we have 5C, which is a resolution setting the time and date of the FY24 budget hearing. Be resolved, the Board of Supervisors hereby fixes the time and place for a public hearing on FY24 budget estimate for Tuesday, April 18th, 2023 at 9 a.m. in the boardroom at the Des Moines County Courthouse. The Des Moines County Budget Director is hereby directed to publish the notice and estimated summary as required by law. This resolution shall take effect immediately, approved on this 28th day of March.
Motion to approve the resolution.
Second?
Moved and second. Sarah Marie?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yep. All right. That brings us to 5D. This is approval of contracts for DMC Highway 99, T17, PCC pavement, and FMCO 2992-5929. This is, I'm turning this over to BC, but this is a contract between the contracting authority, which is Des Moines County, and the contractor, which is FS Inc., doing business as Four Seasons Excavating. And the contract amount is $1,374,541.46. Brian Carter.
I think you pretty much summed it up. This has been a while coming. This isn't anything new. We bid this through the DOT. It's a farm to market project, funding wise. It is the project north on 99, right around where the bridge is being built right now. This is the project that will ultimately require the closure of Highway 99 this summer at some point, spring or summer. We don't know the timing yet. We're not actually allowed to talk to the contractor until we get contracts signed, so we'll have a better idea as we move forward. So Four Seasons was a little bidder. We did have good competition. Second bidder was just under $50,000 behind, and on this size of a project, that's not bad for competition. So, I think we had 4 bidders altogether, and they were all within a reasonable range. So yeah, when we know more about timing and closure, obviously, we'll pass it on. We've tried to make everybody aware that this project's coming. It's desperately needed. The bridge was hands down our worst bridge in the county, so getting that bridge changed out is crucial, and the rest will be a good improvement. We'll probably slip by there today during our tour. So I would recommend approval, and we can finally kind of work towards the rest of this process.
Our inability to talk to the contractor is a federal regulation, right?
Great question, because this only has state-related money in it, but a lot of the federal rules overlap into state, because why would you duplicate things? So I don't know the answer, the true answer. I'm sure that it's a federal regulation. Is that the reason it's in the state rules? Probably, although there are some tampering concerns too about people. Anyway, I wouldn't say that it probably happens that way cleanly all the time, but that's one of the reasons that when people ask, you know, what's the scheduling, it's why we don't have answers frequently before we actually get contracts signed. So I'm sure it's just to keep everything and everybody above board by the time it gets signed. So either way, we're looking forward to this project. I already look forward to it being done, because I don't look forward to the road being closed, but it'll be a good improvement. Much needed.
Thank you.
Everybody satisfied?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Move to second. Sarah Marie?
Tom Broker?
Yes.
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Shane McCampbell?
Yes.
Thank you. Shane, this is why they had to call you and get your stuff, because we will actually, you guys are gonna sign this on paper and all that, but this will actually be electronically done by Becky once you guys are all done with it, so.
Right on. Okay. We're almost at you guys. We're almost there. We appreciate you hanging on. We're at 5E now, which is a letter of support to the Office of the Chief Information Officer of the State of Iowa. Des Moines County, Iowa, submitting this application in response to the OCIO invitation to qualify for a broadband intervention zone. The community of Des Moines County, representing local businesses and residents, has been identified as a specific area of geographic concern with regards to existing broadband availability. As such, we are proposing that a broadband intervention zone be established for the area in and around the community of Des Moines County. Pursuant to the Iowa broadband map, V5, this area is currently served by a single broadband provider and with speeds that do not facilitate the required 100 to 20 minimum threshold for robust connectivity. I just like how they do that in there, you know. It's our hope that the ITQ application review of some of the same by OCIO will designate Des Moines County as a geographic area of concern and intervention zone for consideration of the next broadband grant program.
This just means we support the application for Des Moines County to become a Tier 1 program. Would give us a little priority when they go to awarding grants.
Works for me. Can I get a
Motion to approve.
Second?
moved and second, Sarah Marie?
Tom Broker?
Yes.
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Shane McCampbell?
Yes. Now we're at 5F. For Child Abuse Prevention Month, we have a proclamation. I'm going to ask Jim to read that.
Our printer's gonna have to put bigger print on here for these old people. 2023 Child Abuse Prevention Month Proclamation. Whereas our children are the most valuable resources and will shape the future of Des Moines County, while our current adult population reflects the outcome of the past childhood treatment. And whereas child abuse and neglect directly harms children and increases the likelihood of long-term physical and mental health problems, alcohol and substance abuse, continued family violence, and criminal behavior. Whereas children suffering from child abuse are more likely to engage in risky behavior, perform poorly in school, develop unhealthy relationships, suffer from depression, attempted suicide, and express violent aggression. And whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem that we can prevent by reducing parental stressors like poverty and barriers and to access services. And whereas only $1 is spent on preventing child abuse in Iowa for every $50 spent on treating it. Well, that's it. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem that can be prevented by increasing opportunities to grow resilience through improved support for developing protective factors that are conditioned and reduced to eliminate the risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnership created between policymakers, child welfare professionals, educational health, community and faith-based organizations, businesses, law enforcement agencies, and families. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families in order to create a stronger, healthier, and safer community. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and the families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. Whereas all members of the community benefit from creating conditions that support strong and healthy families due to decreased mental and physical health problems and substance abuse, increased productivity and educational attainment, and less crime and violence. And where now, therefore, we, the Des Moines County Board of Supervisors, do hereby proclaim April as the National Child Abuse Prevention Month in Des Moines County, and urge all citizens to recognize this month by dedicating ourselves to the task of improving the quality and life of the children and the families.
All righty, and we have some,
We have some ladies
You wanna
here.
get a copy of that?
Would you, ladies like to comment on this?
Well, I'm Erin Jones, and we're with Des Moines County Cares, the Child Abuse Prevention Council. And like you had mentioned, throughout the meeting, there's lots of things that are talked about and dealt with at every level that are caused by, affected by, or affect child abuse rates. So, like we say in the proclamation, you know, child abuse affects everybody, and child abuse can be prevented, and those rates can be affected by everybody as well. So, I have some wonderful ladies here that do great professional work. There's a lot of smart people and a lot of fantastic services in Des Moines County that we're really grateful for, working toward helping strengthen families and protect children. And we always are eager to have them participate in our meetings and help all kind of work together and make sure we're not, duplicating, and trying to fill those gaps where there are some. I do have some materials I will leave for you
Yes.
to look at later.
please.
There's the Child Abuse Prevention Month kind of cover sheet that just has our activities with the Wear Blue Day. It's a statewide day. It's actually a nationwide day where you wear blue in recognition to raise awareness, but the statewide is a different day for Wear Blue. That's next Friday the 7th. So we just left some flyers for that if you want to participate in that. That's always great. There's an invitation for Child Abuse Prevention Month. We're having a special meeting, instead of our regular meeting. It's the same time and place, but we have some food and we're gonna talk about our council and welcome some new members hopefully. So there's some invitations in there. There's some information from technical package on preventing child abuse and neglect, and information on the adverse childhood experiences study and all that great information, with some brochures from the state. Iowa ACES 360 that's done study and information around that study for specific to Iowa, and then a data snapshot of Des Moines children. So I will leave this for you, for anyone who wants any of it to keep and look at. That will be in this folder. There's several copies of each. And we really appreciate you taking the time to do this for us and recognize it.
I will say, Sunday, I went out to the mall, they had a child, what do you call it, Day of the Child? And I seen a couple of you ladies out there, and we had our granddaughter with us, and there's a lot of families out there, and people didn't get out there to see that, they really missed out, because because my granddaughter come home with a whole bag of stuff.
Yeah.
And then she made book covers for her books, she come home with a beach ball, the grandpa had to go out and blow up. I think you might have been guilty of that, young lady. Well, I could not blow it up anymore, I had to go out and get my air compressor started. But anyway, there's a lot of families out there, and it was just fun to see all these young kids out there and just having a ball. They got capes on, you know, they've got superpowers, and these are the families that you're not gonna see them kids in this juvenile detention. So, thank you for doing that, really good.
Yep, that's the Day of Child's a great event. Community Actions hosted it for maybe 30-ish.
32 years.
32 years, and they've been off since COVID, so it was the first year back, so we were excited. There was that great, comeback of people, and hope that keeps going and increasing each year, so.
This motorcycle club out of Fairfield, Iowa.
Yeah, Baca.
You know, and the kids just really, really like that, and they put these little,
Like the airbrush.
airbrush tattoos on them. And they was lined up for that, you know, and these people are totally against child prevention. That's what their chapter's about.
Yeah.
So, not all motorcycle people are bad people, see?
Yeah, Bikers Against Child Abuse is their group, and they're a great partner for us, so,
Yeah.
in all of our counties.
Find the bikers that have the sticker on, and you'll know the deal, see? That was a joke. Anyways, I do want to say this, because it's not a joke on child prevention. Everybody in Des Moines County, this is how you can be superheroes. You're a mandatory reporter. And if I see some kid having anything, crying, I see something looks shady, I will call the police. And everybody should do the same. Be a mandatory reporter. Stand up for kids, because sometimes they don't have a voice. Well, that's you. People are everywhere. You can't keep them, in a house all the time. Sometimes they gotta go outside and people get to see stuff. And if you see something, call the law. Sheriff Glendinning will be more than glad to come out there and straighten somebody out that doesn't know how to deal with kids. Because some people still don't know how to do that. They need a little help. So, be a mandatory reporter. Give them some help. Or are you gonna say something, miss? Okay.
I agree. I mean, it takes all of us and, stepping in when we need to and supporting parents and families is really important to, so, those types of things are gonna happen, and the more that I think people know that your community is involved, they're gonna notice, and you're saying, just within your own family, sometimes we're not doing that very well. We do have some specific projects where we try to focus on family time away from technology, so we recognize that as an issue too. That especially has come down through the HHS system of talk to families about this, so, but if people know their community's engaged and cares and wants to help and will step in, then things can, the parents will behave differently most likely, so.
I want to get a reputation in Des Moines County for being narcs. We rap on bad parents. I want to get a reputation for that. You're a bad parent, stay out of Des Moines County.
Jan, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. What I've seen Sunday.
We appreciate your letting us be here and speak about it, so, and sign the proclamation. Thank you.
Thank you again. Motion to approve the proclamation.
Made by somebody that, I don't know if he was abused or not, but I mean, this guy, the stories I've heard about him, Tom, we're all proud about you, how you turned out.
I was not abusing my children.
Can I get a second?
I was just getting ready to say that, he did not get abused, but he did abuse himself.
We're proud of how you turned out, Tom. All right, can I get a second,
Yeah.
James? All right. Sierra Marie?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes. And again, thank you all for all that you do. It's not a joke, it matters, just some things are so serious, sometimes you just have to smile, just so that you don't get too locked in. But anyways, again, thank you all for what you do. Do they get a copy of one of these? How do we
They can have one if they're like one.
get your signature, and we definitely want
If you
to.
have one, yeah, I'll take it.
We're gonna have to, make another copy. They got me down as vice chair and I'm not vice chair.
I changed
I'm
it
vice chair.
on that one.
I thought you were vice chair.
No. Thomas is
It's hard to
vice
keep
chair.
track. I thought Jim was vice chair because you just ran. And I
No,
thought
'cause
Jim
he
told
was
me.
just chair, so he goes down to member.
Tom is vice chair.
You can scan it, send it to me if you have time later, that's fine, it's not a big deal.
That's my mistake, all right.
We'll just turn it back and she'll make another copy.
Okay.
Maybe you guys need an airbrush tattoo to say what you want.
You know, I still
I
gotta
have
check,
forehead.
see what he's drinking.
On
On the forehead.
on the forehead, I like that.
Sip water, man, and
It doesn't
protein,
say
that's
anything
all
about
it is.
alcohol.
That's all it is. Trust me, I don't need anything else. Are we satisfied with that? We're gonna get, I'm about to say, if you hold tight, we'll get you that copy. We'd love for you guys to have it. Let's move on to FG for fireworks permit at 34 Raceways. This is, Susan Skalinsky. It is, location of display is 10463 South Prairie Grove Road and West Burlington. The operator's gonna be Kevin Byerly. You know all the details on this, but it is for the 28th of March, 2023. Kevin Glendon, you got a problem with this?
No issues with it.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved in second, Sarah Marie?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes, that's what it is. It's gonna be a heck of a show. I think Broker's gonna be there. Let's go to H, which is a janitorial agreement with Porter Janitorial Services in the amount of $3,195 for Des Moines County Jail 5 times per week.
Yeah, this is an annual agreement for cleaning for the jail, roads, building, conservation, and CPC. So the actual total for the jail for a year would be $38,340. The other three buildings are $2,892 apiece for a total $8,676 for those three buildings. So grand total between all four buildings yearly is $47,016, and there is no increase from last year. It's exactly the same. So they seem to be doing a pretty good job, so we recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved to second, Sarah Marie?
Thank you, Rodney.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes, keep it clean. Which brings us to personnel items. We have just a few. We have 4 for the correctional center. I'll do them all together since they're for the correctional center. The first one is for resignation, I'm sorry to hear that, for Brittany Whalen. She is resigning from her position effective March 30th, 2023, from the kitchen. Then we have, this is all correctional center, then we have Sierra Lynn Barker. She is a correctional full-time officer. She's a new hire, so she'll be starting at a new rate of $41,362.40 effective March 31st, 2023. Then we have Rita Forker. She is assistant cook in the kitchen. She is starting at a new rate of $9.36 per hour. She is a new hire as an assistant cook. And then we have Zachary Walker with the Correctional Center. He is a new hire at $41,362.40 a year, effective March 29th, 2023.
Move to approve all four.
Second.
Sarah Marie?
Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes. Five J brings us to reports. We have clerk's reports, fees collected for February 2023 in the amount of $2,703.79. These will be on file in the auditor's office for you to view at your discretion. Every way should be more than glad to help you out.
You didn't initial
Yeah. Oh, I didn't initial that one though. Give me another right here too. Thank you, so. Okay, and then next we have our minutes for the regular meeting of March 21st, 2023. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Sarah Marie?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes. Other business. James?
I have none.
Thomas?
I have none.
Future agenda items. James? Thomas?
I don't have any.
Committee reports. James?
I had a early childhood meeting Tuesday, and we're running a doodle to set the date for our yearly retreat. Okay, all the contracts with everybody, and that's coming up here pretty shortly. So that was a big thing. So outside of that, I have nothing else to report on that. Then I had a juvenile detention, and we was $160 a day, for juvenile. And the board voted to raise that up for member counties, and it's $185 a day. And they raised up the non-member counties to $225 a day. So, it's, and like I say, Moines County is not in lead on juvenile detention right now, so it's Wapello County. They have 900 and some days. And they're ahead of us by 2 points, 2 days, so we're just right behind them. So, $200,000, it kind of bothers me with the juveniles, but next year, with that extra $25 a day, that 200,000, if we had to do it, might be 225,000, 230,000. It's just coming up there, but we have no control
I just had community action. We're just trying to get readjusted now that the COVID numbers and everything have changed and the benefits. So trying to get the numbers up because numbers were down, and they're trying to do some creative things to get those numbers back up where they need to be. That's about all I had. Thomas?
I have none.
Okay. At this time, we will entertain public input. If you would like to call in, we would love to hear from you. Give us a call now at 319-753-8203 extension 4, or you can email us at board@dmcounty.com. We would love to hear from you. Again, you can call at 319-753-8203 extension 4, or you can email us at board@dmcounty.com, or we do have a special email for those for the serious hard problems. That would be brokerT@dmcounty.com. We encourage you to send those in. Is there anybody with a comment? Start the clock, James. Thomas?
I'll wait for the email.
There will be. Let's get this side real quick.
I'll mention something. Last week, I noted that the DOT and their contractor was gonna be closing Mediapolis Road to set beams. Well, if you were around for the weather last week, it wasn't very conducive to setting bridge beams. And I guess credit to my guys, because you don't plow snow at the end of March very often, and they were out plowing snow on the paved roads on Saturday morning. So that has still gotta happen. So if you hear about a closure, that's what's going on. We'll do a notice, like I said before. Right now, they're targeting Thursday and Friday. Thursday looks pretty good, Friday not so much, so there's a chance it rolls into next week. Just a lot of weather-dependent stuff. So just wanted to give you a heads up that that's coming along, and the DOT's paving contractor is planning on getting started up also. So the activity along the highway is gonna pick up, which tends to lead to more potential for accidents. So take it easy. A lot of people don't look at the road very well anyway. Now between their phone and the construction, they'll be gawking in a couple different directions.
Thank you.
So I think the DOT is hoping to wrap up the work on that first 11 miles sometime in early June. Time will tell. Obviously depends on how much rain we get along the way, but that's the rumor I've heard from the DOT.
Rumors and whatnot going around. What we had on time? Nobody's messaged us in, huh? You guys are missing out. This is a great opportunity to talk to some wonderful men. James here, this guy has so much experience and patience of Job. He drives a school bus. Now Thomas, don't get me started on this guy.
Oh, someone's calling in.
James, is that a message for Thomas?
Tom's up, time's up.
I would add, if you wouldn't mind, as we've talked about electronics, child abuse prevention month and whatnot, our offices try to be as proactive as possible with kids online and specifically predators online. It's no secret that Minneapolis News and op-ed and articles on it reference some of the cases we've had. We've had 18 cases since we started doing this last fall where we've made charges on online enticement or dissemination of obscene material. When we talk about parent involvement, it's all these kids have cell phones and iPads and whatnot, and when your kids are online, it's just an online portal right into your home, right into their bedrooms. If you're not involved in your children's lives, then there's a strong likelihood that the wrong people will be. There are online predators that are sending out thousands of messages a day. And then there's some that take a different approach and they're targeting specific individuals. Some are just throwing out a bunch of lines and trying to find that one that grabs, and some they'll actually do the grooming process and they'll go after specifics. What I would encourage is that parents just be actively involved. The online experience is about trust, and you have to build up to that. They're still kids, they make impulsive decisions, and I think you're being a good parent by monitoring that, observing what your kids are doing online. And as they get older, they mature, they stop making the kind of decisions that would concern you, then you can give them a little bit more freedom. But when they're at a young age, I think you need to be actively involved and be really observant of your child's activity online, because there are people out there that have bad intentions. And I would just encourage you to be actively involved and watching what's going on. 15 of those, I believe, are in Des Moines County. 3 of those cases, a handful of those cases, have been in surrounding counties, 2 in Illinois, where our investigators have just identified predators that are looking for children online, and we've been able to develop charges. They've really made a strong go at it. Our goal is to prevent what might have occurred, and we feel pretty strongly that it's making a pretty strong impact. The unfortunate results is they're ending up in our jail. We're having those people there and building up population. But the positive thing is that those are predators that are instead of communicating with our online profiles instead of actual children. But the fact is if they're sending these messages to our online profiles, and they're out there looking for others as well. So just be aware of that online experience and just have active involvement.
I appreciate that, Sheriff. People need to understand how dangerous it is, and I try to remind everybody. It's funny you brought that up. I just preached this 2 weeks in a row, but I remind everybody, I said, you know, the Bible says that God can see all the things that you do, and one day He's going to reveal it. I said, but if you don't want to wait on God, Google knows everything you do. It's called your, what is it called? Electronic or your digital footprint. That's what it is. It's a digital footprint. And you can be found out. You can be found out. Something goes down, they can go through all your stuff. I tell kids this all the time. Think you're being slick. I said, but you can't even delete it. I can go back through, and I can go through your phone or your computer and find out where you've been. And I'll tell you, you ought to see the faces when I say that to them, because I say it like that. I can find out where you've been. Do I need to get on your phone? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we need to do that. We need to be mindful that it's not about us being friends. It's about us making sure that people are accountable. And kids are young. They just don't know at that age. They need that. It's good for them. So anyways, digital footprint, friends.
I mean,
After I did that sermon, one guy said, I went home and I had to get rid of my computer. I destroyed it. I didn't want anybody going back on there to find it. I said, well, you're going to need a new one, friend. You better walk right. That's all I can say. Were you going to say something?
Just, I mean, they're even reaching out, I feel like text messages, some of the texts that I see that, I mean, I've gotten, or my kids, it's like, delete.
Yeah, it's getting
You would
crazy.
walk down the street and allow an unknown stranger to approach your child and have a conversation that you didn't monitor. If you're at a restaurant and you saw an adult person talking to your child as they're on their way to the restroom, you would approach that and you'd be involved in what was happening there. Yet we sit on the sidelines and allow our kids to have online conversations with people that they may portray themselves as the child. More than likely they're not. It happens all the time. We need to be involved and monitor those conversations and build that trust up. And it's truly no different. It's even more scary because in an instant, they can send material that your child shouldn't have, or they can say things to try to connect with that child to start that grooming process. So just be very aware of what they're doing online and where they're at. I mean, you're talking gaming consoles, cell phones, iPads, everything where there's a chat room or anything like that. The predators know where to go. And if there's kids there, then there's probably going to be a predator that will be aware of that opportunity. So just be involved.
You're getting me started, but because that's got a spot for me. But grown folks don't talk to kids. And I'll say some word about that anyway. Grown folks don't talk to kids, not unless they're acting up or something. You know, get away from there. But grown folks don't talk to kids. I've got nothing to say to a kid unless it's my kid or unless something's going on. Because I'm a grown man. Anyways, I'll get heated. Let's huh? What's that?
Nothing.
All right. All right. He said, hey, shut her down, Shane, shut her down. Okay, public input, the 2 minutes are up, and I think I used up most of that time, so we appreciate it. Thomas, any closing remarks?
I'm good. Aye.
Aye. You guys are killing me. Sarah Marie, we're out of here. Thank you all. We've got a work session following with county engineer.
Morning.
Gonna be down there.
I put up the other two.
Oh.
So this is